Happy Monday. How y'all doing? Welcome back to another episode of Live Up to Freedom. We are live on Worldview Tube. You can watch us on worldviewtube.com, or if you have installed the app, if you didn't know, there's an app. Oh, there's an app for it. It's a very easy to access, user-friendly app. If you have the app already, you're watching us there. If you don't, well, grab the app, App Store, Worldview Tube, install it. Turn on the notifications, so every time we're live, you get a notification. We are also live on X America News on X, my channels on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere that I stream Substack. So welcome to the show. It has been a great Monday. I barely made it to the show. Believe it or not, I probably sat here ready to go 2 minutes before our time. So forgive me as I'm still gathering my thoughts, but I'll get there. 4 very important topics I want to touch on today. I couldn't even decide which one is less or more important. They're all very important. But I have not like many, I have not touched the whole FBI, DOJ, Epstein, Pam Bundy, Cash Patel, Dan Bongino situation, and I'm still not going to touch them. But I will talk about a different angle or different issue of that matter. We need to talk about Epic City because there's breaking news on that. We also have the wonderful global war going on, which I will address that as well. And I will keep an eye on your comments. If you have any comments, any questions, any suggestions, anything like that, just whatever platform you're watching me on, I will be looking at the comments here. Before I dive into the first topic of the first segment, I need to, before I forget, so I will be traveling this week. I have a event, a speaking engagement in Chicago. As most of you know, I'm normally in Chicago once or twice every year, or once every year for 1 or 2 events. So it is coming up this Friday. So I will be traveling. Pardon me, forgive me. I know last week I didn't do much shows due to my illness, and then week after that was 4th of July. I will catch up with you guys, but I will be here today. Clearly, I will be here tomorrow on Mission for Freedom with Miriam Shaw, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I will not be doing a live show. However, that doesn't mean you should not continue watching. You should not continue checking out my pages because I will regularly make posts. And last but not least, starting Friday morning, my Etsy store, my artist store, will be on vacation mode until I come back from this trip. Main reason is I don't want to have any conflict of product, so we will we'll temporarily close down all available items on my Etsy store until I come back, and whatever comes back with me, wonderful, I will reactivate them. That being said, if you have an item, because I noticed some of my items are on 4 to 1 person's cart. If you've seen an item, if you added it to your cart, you may want to grab it before Friday morning because there's a good chance that after the vacation mode, it may not be there, or you might lose it from your cart because every time I activate my vacation mode on my artist store, all items will be removed from any cart. So before Friday morning, grab your product, and if you need extra motivation, use a promo code MISSION, and you will get a discount on what you have on your cart until Friday morning. I mean, the promo code MISSION always works, but I meant before Friday if you want to purchase it and need extra motivation, promo code MISSION will get you a discount. Okay. I think that covers it all as far as everything I had to say. I am looking this way. Pardon me. As I said, I'm still gathering. I'm trying to pull up my Rumble so I can see your comments there if and when you make the comment. Perfect. So let's start with Ghislaine Maxwell. I know probably here you pronounce it Ghislaine or Ghislaine. I don't know. It's Ghislaine Maxwell. I published a Substack this morning, and that was when I said I will touch Epstein files, but or Epstein case, I should say, but in a different way. We all know. First, it was the confirmation by Cash Patel and Dan Bongino. And when I name names, I'm not going necessarily after the name. I'm naming names because those were the names that said the following sentences, just for the record. On Fox News said that they have confirmation and they have seen all the evidence and they know for a fact Epstein killed himself. So that was the first step. After that came the next bombshell, when it was there is no client list whatsoever. What are you all talking about? And then, of course, after that was the momentary lose of control by President Trump attacking a reporter who was doing a good job. I don't know anything about that reporter. I don't want to say they're doing a good job in general, not, but that moment he was asking about Epstein file, where President Trump basically attacked that reporter of, you're still talking about this guy. So it has created a lot of noise. I will not sit here and pretend like nobody's talking about it, but it has created a lot of noise. But then now, Ghislaine Maxwell is ready to talk. Now, who is Ghislaine Maxwell? For anybody who may not know, I have a very detailed breakdown of her background and everything she's done. But for the sake of time on the show, she pretty much she's the last breathing. Very important. The last breathing person connected to Epstein private jet, Epstein Island, and Epstein ring of trafficking and sex abuse of victims. Why? Because she was convicted, and she's serving prison time right now. She was convicted of doing that. Like literally in 2021, she was convicted of, after being hunted and finally found. Again, all the details are on that Substack. She was convicted in 2021 of providing connections to Epstein. And by connections, I mean victims. She is the one who did the grooming and picking and tricking and convincing these girls to be abused and raped and trafficked. Now, normally I'm that person of, oh, great, now you want to talk. But today I'm not going to say that about her, because she is not cutting a deal. She is not renegotiating her sentence. She volunteered to talk. Do we know why? Absolutely not. It could be the guilty conscience. It could be maybe she has come to realize that just serving sentence isn't enough to clear out her sins. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe she just wants certain names to come out. Whatever her agenda, I know she's not making a deal. I know she's not cutting a deal. I know she's not getting money. So she's ready to talk about everything. She's ready to name names. She's ready to explain in details of events, because part of her conviction was that she was in those parties. She was the one who trained these girls how to behave towards the abuse, so she can actually give details of these events and what has happened to these victims, right? But now, well, as of right now, as I speak to you on Monday, July 14, 4:09 p.m. Eastern Time, no one has welcomed her openness and willingness to testify in front of Congress. Nobody has. I would say, if it was me, if I wasn't one of the dirty ones, or I wasn't connected to one of the dirty ones, or one of the dirty ones didn't have a gun to my head, I would be on the phone. Now, forget about that. I would be running to the president that's holding her. I'd be like, okay, you're free. You're serving prison time. So tomorrow, 8 a.m., you're in Congress. For me, I don't really care whose name is in that list. I don't. As you know, I'm independent. As you know, I neither trust Republicans nor Democrats nor rhinos, nor liberals, nor conservatives. I don't trust any of these politicians for a bed anymore. What I care about is these victims, these girls who were groomed by a woman, who were raped, abused, their innocence taken away, sold like piece of property or meat, for them to get some sort of justice, any sort, 1 name, 2 name, 10 name, all the names, with R, D, L, S, Q, whatever in front of that name. I don't care. So again, as I mentioned on my Substack, I'm hoping Somebody's going to pick up the phone, or as I said, run to the president's cell and say, let's go. And this is where I will say that I have been saying this, and I have received fair enough amount of backlash on all that corners, all fronts. Epstein or any other Tate brothers, another name, any case of especially child involved trafficking, grooming, and sex rings has never ever been about the left. Right wants to say all the names on the list are lefts. Left will accuse all the right in it. And that's the problem with our country, by the way. You guys are so carried away with that little R or a D in front of your guy's name that you are blind to the fact that as a human, your priority shouldn't be Clinton's name versus Trump's name. Who cares? Your priority should be the future kids that are at just as much risk as the exploited ones were. That should be your priority. Instead of sitting there like a bunch of juvenile kids fighting over how many Republican versus how many Democrats names were on the list. Who cares? Seriously, what is wrong with you people? Bottom line of all these Epstein has come down to parties again? Are you kidding me? Do you not have kids? Did you never suffer any abuse? Did you not face trauma? Your entire breathing, sleeping, eating is about your party? I don't know how you go to bed at night. Whomever you are, again, I don't care. I really don't. If you're rich, if you're poor, if you're healthy, if you're unhealthy, if you're a man, you're a woman, you're a mother, you're a father, you're not like me, it doesn't matter. I don't know, how do you go to bed knowing all day long your fight was over a darn party line instead of innocent children? This has never been about politics or policies for that matter. Both left and right have played you for so many years and you're still blindly following the game. Nobody cares. Listen, nobody's perfect. You think you belong to the political party that is better? Well, I hope you have an alarm that's going to wake you up soon, because neither side, middle, left, right, far left, none of it matters. This country, this society of human society is suffering from blindness. And again, if you're a parent, if you really think somehow your kid is that much more special and your kid will never be at risk of becoming another victim of Tate brothers or Epstein, I shall be praying for you. Great timing for me to try to calm down because we're up for our first ad break. We're going to go take a quick ad break. When we come back, I'll check out on comment section if you have anything to say more about this. If not, we're going to move on to our next topic. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, hello everybody. It's Annie Cyrus. Welcome to my art studio where all the magic happens. This is the station for painting, and that is the station for all the resin art I do. If you want to check out my art, all you gotta do is go to lutfstudio.com. But I'm sure, or at least I hope, I'll see you at lutfstudio.com. With me until now, and no, I did not calm down. I don't think that's those of you who know me. kids are, yeah, no. As a comment says here, on, I think it was on Facebook. No, yes, it is. Lisa says, hands off the kids. Enough is enough. Exactly. Kids are off limit. Yes, it is personal for me. It's very personal for me. And not just because of what happened to me as a kid. That's part of it. But then it's also because I guess I have common sense. I have humanity. And most of all I follow Jesus Christ. So kids are off limit. Get over your entire party obsession. Now, I was thinking the other day, and I am seeing your comments, guys, and I'm going to read on right as soon as I finish this thought. I don't know. It's been a pretty hectic month and a half between the Iran-Israel war and the ceasefire and my own health issues and building as much art as I could to take with me on my trip Friday and doing the show. Anyways, life's been a little fun. A few days ago or yesterday, whenever I'm sitting there, I'm like, there's a level. There's like, I like doing this. There is this. There's that. Know the difference, and it was like there's addiction, there's obsession, and then there's what I have come to realize in my head known as dangerously obsessive addiction. And I can't help but to think a lot, not all. A lot of Americans are really suffering from dangerously obsessive addiction to parties of politics. Like you can't make this up. You can't. There's like, until Epstein killed himself moment, there's like Trump administration, perfection. And then a little bit of, we'll see. And then there's no client list. Now we have the hardcore. Trump is not even a Republican, and then administration isn't even. And then we have the administration is run by deepest. Like the so quick crash of all these walls is exactly why I say they suffer from dangerously obsessive addiction. It is an addiction to constantly have to talk about politics. Yes, politics are extremely important. Guess who does politics all day long? But I received comments and replies to my Substack today after I released it. And I want to give a shout out to everybody on my Substack. You guys are amazingly, like, our number is really small compared to my other platforms. But you guys are so active. It motivates, like every morning I'm like, I got to write today because you guys are reading and you guys are communicating with me. Just as a side note here or note here. But I had response such as, I think you're the only one who's looking at it this way because everybody else wants to talk about the politics and the parties. And I'm like, I know. That's why I woke up actually about 2 hours earlier this morning, even though I went to bed really late last night, to make sure to get this out. Because a lot of people are talking about this Maxwell ready to testify. But again, nobody's talking about the major part of this issue. I have not heard all of these talking heads out there all day long or all 10 years long talking about the victims. Are you telling me the list was a myth? And the victims are a myth too? Are you telling me we're at a point in our life as a society and as a nation of Americans? The Americans, right? Americans. The Americans, the ones that we cherish, our kids, right? Our children, our next generation. We're constantly training the next generation. So we're at a point where we're willing to actually say victims were made up too? Okay. Let's get to some of these comments before I start screaming even louder. I literally feel guilty for our lovely producer. I know he wears headsets, production headsets, and I feel like I'm screaming too much. I'm so sorry. Okay, what do we have? Allison, this is a little, not necessarily off topic, but Allison on YouTube is asking, how do you like selling on Etsy? I've thought about posting my own art there. Not an accomplished artist. Allison, I love being on Etsy. I am nowhere near, I don't even call myself an artist. I just create what's in my heart. And, most of them have many imperfections. Those who have purchased can tell you that None of my pieces are perfect. Some of them are not even balanced or level. But you know what? Do it. What's the worst that can happen? Nobody buys anything? That's all right. I doubt it. I'm sure. I don't know what type of art you do, but you know what? Just do it. List your listing. It will cost you nothing. And if they purchase, commission will be given to Etsy. If they don't purchase, then they just sit there. I promise you, you'll sell. There will be people out there who want to support you, your artistic sense, and you'll make it. But as far as Etsy itself, it's a great platform to be on. And again, one more time, reminder for those of you who join me a little later, Friday morning, my Etsy store will be on vacation mode until Monday morning. So if you have an item on your card, you may want to check it out and grab it before Friday morning. Use promo code MISSION for discount at checkout before Friday. Maybe early release by Allison again. Sources say Epstein's money is still being moved. I'm guessing by early release, you mean Maxwell is testifying for early release. That is not what she requested. Again, she has not requested early release. She has not requested pardon. She did not ask for a deal. Nothing. Volunteer. And I'm going to, you know what? Let's play devil's advocate. Let's say she's even making a deal. That's okay. I repeat, she's the last breathing legit victim who has the receipts. I mean, I've been praying today. My darling sister in Christ from Canada, Valerie Price, kindly replied to my Substack today, and she actually asked me, how long do you think until they Epstein Maxwell? And I agree with her, and I did mention it on the Substack that we got to figure this out before they physically remove her as well. I've been praying for her protection, not out of anything, but the fact that I know if she pushes and if she gets that appointment, there's a good chance that she's going to end up killing herself too. And Cash Patel and Dan Bongino be sitting there ready to say, "We saw the video. We were there when she pulled the trigger." You know. Yes, now this time I'm specifically picking on Dan Bongino and Cash Patel. Hello, Lady Chuckle on YouTube. Great to see you. Michael Stevenson on YouTube. Elitist. Yes, and that's my point. Elitists don't have a party. From every party, from every group, from every genre exists in that group. So we got to stop referring to it. Amen, Lisa. I trust in God. And God bless all. Agreed. And that's yeah. Let me talk about this for a minute. So we are willing, and many huge number. I know a huge number of the Christian population out there who are saying, okay, Pam Bundy the problem, Trump is still the good guy, Dan good guy, Cash doesn't know what he's doing. What I'm trying to say here is, we're separating, like somehow, like Pam is the problem because what? What is the proof? If Pam is the problem, why are you all retruthing the truth that President Trump put out long, asking his gals and boys, which that's a topic for a whole show for me if I wanted to pick on that part, but I will not today, telling them not to fight each other. Pam Bundy is doing a great job. So if Pam is the problem, why are we not showing any pushback towards President Trump for praising Pam Bundy and saying, who cares about Epstein? Pam is now actively focusing on election fraud, which, by the way, you all know, those of you who followed me, I have always said the election fraud is real. It has been happening. 2020 wasn't the first time. 2024 isn't the last time. So before anybody comes saying, hey, you're denying election fraud. No, I know it exists. However, pay attention to the timing. Pay attention. So when the blow up happens over Epstein client list, an Epstein case, suddenly we dig up the second most controversial topic that kept conservatives and Republicans fired up. We dig that up to try to take away from this one. I'm sorry, If you don't like what you're hearing, that's okay. But in that very long post by President Trump on his Truth Social, that is exactly what he did. That is exactly what he did. Okay? He said, hey, don't fight each other. Don't be upset with Pam Bundy. Guess what? Now she's working on that other thing that really made you angry. We're going to take this carrot. We're going to replace it with another carrot. And that's how it's been operating. Not just Trump. Again, I'm not picking on Trump individual. This darn carrot has been going on for a long time. For a very long time. Probably before I was even born. Probably way before I was even in America. But how is it that me, here in less than 3 weeks, I will proudly be celebrating my 24th year of arrival in America? I caught up with the carrot. Majority of Americans haven't yet. Why? And dear Christians, since when you put your faith and your full trust on a man? I thought we trust God. I thought our faith is in Jesus Christ. I mean, if half of you would fight for Jesus Christ the way you fight for President Trump, hallelujah, there would be a great, wonderful Christian community out there, wouldn't it? Oh, yeah. Okay, back to comments, because I promised I'll read your comments. Crystal on Facebook says, I think it could be any of them. Exactly. Honestly, Crystal, I think it's all of them. Not any of them, all of them. One way or another, by affiliation, all of them. But again, what do I know? Lisa says, I'm going to try to read this correctly. High Point NC 764, federal investigation, violent online network targeting kids, arrests. I don't know if that's something that happened. Is that a code? But I would like to see, again, kids are off limit. So whatever it takes to protect our kids. End of the story. I don't care who you are. Our kids need, today, as we stand here, our kids need protection. Forget about us who need protection. Our kids need protection directly from our government and everybody involved in it. We might get organized and outlaw the terrorist cult in America. JX says that on Facebook. I agree. But I highly doubt that we can get organized. As I just said, the obsessive addiction of parties has definitely put a full block, iron block of getting organized, because we don't do that. We just fight each other. I know there's way more comments to get to. Let's go ahead and take our second ad break, guys. Don't go anywhere. And don't forget to share this stream wherever you're watching it. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for staying with me until now. And let me just remind you guys, every time we take an ad break here on Worldview YouTube, this is the way that Brian House, the founder, and also the host of Worldview Radio Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and Brown House Live Monday through Friday in the evening, is able to let us, people like me, have a show on his network without having to worry about bandwidth and storage and producer and any other, you know, struggles you have to have when you're doing or you're trying to do a high quality production. So whatever product you see, anything you see on the advertising time, if it's of your need, I'm asking you to go ahead and make a purchase, make a donation, whatever you can do to support this network, because that way you're supporting my programming. Okay. I see you guys. Hey, Tiffany, good to see you. Thank you, Lady Chuckle, for subscribing to my Substack. Again, I encourage you guys to subscribe for free. First of all, one of the things I'm doing that most likely you won't find it anywhere else, every single day, right at 7 p.m. Doesn't matter if it's weekend, it's weekday, it doesn't matter. Every day, right at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, a Substack pops up, ready to go for you to read. It is nothing long, nothing short, nothing specific, except this day in the calendar of Ummah, meaning I show you in that record of that day the Islamic jihadist attack, where it was, who was the attacker, what was the result, injuries, death, all of that. So I call it the calendar of Ummah. So that's the bare minimum you get if you are subscribed to my Substack. Now, I will encourage you to become a paid subscriber. I do behind paywall articles, more of a research depth writing. But the main reason I'll ask you to do that is that way you support my work. Because believe it or not, some of these researches take a lot of time where I won't be able to actually go to work and make money. Not that anybody would hire me at this point. I'm so blacklisted in my industry that nobody would hire me. Allison says, Alan Dershowitz says he absolutely knows there's a list. He knows who some of them are, is begging for its release. Agreed. I've seen that, Allison. I saw that. And I actually chuckled when I saw it. I'm like, wow, nice play. Now, I am not making an accusation whatsoever. What I'm saying is, if you read my Substack that came out earlier this afternoon, I named some of the leaked names originally from the list, and Alan Dershowitz's name is on that leaked list. Is he asking for the list to be released because he's trying to clear his name? I don't know. Is he playing the reverse psychology, asking for the list to be released so we think he's trying to clear his name? I don't know. But I know Alan Dershowitz's name was on the original leaked list of names where we had Clinton, for example, Bill Gates, for example. That leaked list, Alan Dershowitz was in it, on it. And again, I'm not saying one way or another. I'm just saying, again, it's the nature of what I do, right? Investigate. When you investigate, you ask questions. You see both sides. You try not to blindly just pick a side. So it was interesting for me when Alan also came out and said, I know there is a list, and I've seen the list, and I want it out. Like, are you sure? Or are you sure at this point? I mean, come on, guys. We all know they have destroyed the list. Unless Maxwell testifies and use her memory to name names somehow, or have something hidden somewhere that she hasn't talked about to show the proof, that list is gone. Not forgotten yet, but it is gone. What happened to the gold dome on the building on Epstein Island? That's a good question, Lisa. I have no idea. I will look into that tonight. I will. Brian on YouTube says, how the country resolves the justice for the children who were abused is what the judgment God will give this nation. Amen. Amen. But I will also say that as individuals, as adults, if we want to call ourselves that, if you haven't unsubscribed from adulting yet, we also have a duty to do everything humanly possible in our power to get them justice. That's actually part of adulthood. So, amen to what you said, and topped with, let's do what we can to get some justice for them. Okay, let me read a few more comments, and then there's another great, fantastic job by DOJ that we need to touch, and then I'll come back to the comments. Our country promotes killing unborn humans still. Michael Stevenson, yes. Yes, and let me quickly touch on this. I won't go into too much detail, but I'll let the experts do that. You know, the huge victory, I don't consider it a victory whatsoever. But it's out there, so I might repeat the narrative of the big, beautiful bill, right? I just want to say that the whole defunding Planned Parenthood part, number one, it's only for 1 year. It's not permanently. So I guess we got to take a victory when we can, right? A little tiny itsy bitsy bone has been thrown at us, so let's say yay. And also, I'm going to say that 1 year defunding Planned Parenthood is not going to save millions of unborn babies being killed in America every year. Just going to say that. Okay. Let me quickly touch on this with the few minutes I have left on this segment, and then after that, we have one more segment. I am almost positive those of you who are watching right now have followed me long enough to know that for a while, before Iran-Israel war broke, myself and also Brian House right here on World YouTube, we were covering extensively the Epic City. Remember Epic City in Plano, Texas? The giant city they're building that is going to be an Islamic-only city. Yeah. So there was a lots and lots of talk. I mean, we had Abbott talking about investigation, and we had Ken Paxton was like, we're on it. We already have evidence of their building with no permit. And they got a funeral house and a graveyard without a permit. All of that was right there. Just like how the client list was right in front of Pam Bundy in her office on her desk, and then desk suddenly doesn't exist anymore. DOJ stopped all investigation into Epic City. All of it. All of it. Done. DOJ decided that it is what it is. We are where we are. They did what they did. We felt what we felt. Moving on. Now, this isn't getting any attention whatsoever. Definitely not as much as Epstein case. It's okay. But it should. Every single American should be outraged with DOJ right now for stopping all investigation in Epic City. If you want to know the extensive of why, again, go to my Substack. I did a long breakdown of Epic City, the Epic Mosque, the man behind it, Yasser Qadi. All of that is on my Substack. We actually tangibly, humanly don't have the time today for me to break it all down again. But here's what I will say. First of all, this is United States of America. When any man, Yasser Qadi has a long resume, proven track record of being an anti-American, pro-Sharia, American-hating, Islam-loving jihadist. Now, I want to be very clear here. Has he blown himself up to commit jihad? Absolutely not. But remember, there are 4 different types of jihad. It's just not just one. There are 4 different types of jihad. And Yasser Qadi has played a wonderful jihadist role when it comes to social jihad. Infiltration through migration, culture, building a city. I mean, what better way to commit jihad than building a city that is all for Muslims, and it is going to be governed by Sharia. How is that one concept by itself not enough reason for DOJ to continue investigation? What do I know? What do I know that inside our Constitution, officially it says the law of the land is superior. No foreign law shall be practiced. That is what the Constitution says. And DOJ sat there's like, you know what, guys? It's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with a city in Plano, Texas. I want to say this, and I'm a little hesitant because I might be getting the number wrong on the acres. It is 401 acres of land. Is that what it is? That's a good-sized city, I think. No? It's tiny enough it doesn't matter that it's unconstitutionally built. It's okay, you know. It's just a little tiny corner village beyond the map. And they're just going to govern that little tiny village. Sharia level of sarcasm is too much. Let me tone it down. DOJ has officially announced that they are completely okay with a Sharia-based governed city to be built. It is the funding, by the way. They didn't see anything to investigate the funding either, even though the city is being funded by investors. You can buy a share. You can invest in the city, become owner of the city. Not a dime by government funding, which some people actually thought that's a good thing. But here's what those people don't understand. Let me pull up my number because I made sure to make a note of this exact number because it is too important for today. So the number says, now Epic City, before becoming, or it's still in the process of becoming Epic City, but there is the Epic mosque, well, I should say Islamic Center, which Epic is basically. East Plano Islamic Center is where we have the Epic. 2003, it was built in 2003 in Plano, Texas. And when it was being built, Epic Mosque or Islamic Center, it received $219,000 in taxpayer support via Plano City partnership on the zoning deal. Let me repeat that. $219,000 received in taxpayer support via Plano City partnerships in zoning deal when Epic Mosque or East Plano Islamic Center was being built in 2003. Now, I have another number I need to find here. I should do better. I should probably start printing these numbers and putting them in front of me. Right? There we go. The mosque, the Islamic Center, is now the funder of the city. So we're doing fundraising through the mosque and then passing it through to build the city. And on that note, just during Ramadan of 2021, why am I emphasizing on 2021? I want you to listen. This is Ramadan of 2021. This is the time that America is coming out of COVID and the lockdowns, okay? This is where a struggle financially is all over the map. Most people were out of jobs. A lot of companies shut down. A lot of small businesses didn't survive, okay? Stay with me. This is Ramadan, just 1 month, Ramadan of 2021. The East Plano Islamic Center managed to raise in donations, charity fundraising, $814,000. You got to give it to these Muslims, to be honest. They put their money when their mouth is. They do. They do a great job. And I mean, look, every time there's a mosque being built, every time there's a Muslim running for office, they really do put their money where their mouth is. I have lost track of my clock, and yep, good timing. Sorry, I have to cut it right here. We're going to take our last ad break. Come back. I finish my thoughts, and then we'll finish the show with the rest of your comments. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Brandon House. Would you like to gain access to over 20 years of my radio shows, TV shows, my books? I've written 15 books, and most of those books are ebooks now. And we have conference DVDs, conferences where we filmed our conferences at the Ozarks, literally starting 20 years ago. It's all available in our archived vault. All you have to do is go to worldviewtube.com/vault. worldviewtube.com/vault. And for a reasonable monthly fee, you gain access to over 20 years of Christian worldview programming, news, information, books, documentaries, and a powerful search engine. And folks, it's a great way not only to educate yourself, equip yourself, but it's a big way that you can help fund our continuation as a broadcast network. Please check it out. worldviewtube.com/vault, worldviewtube.com/vault, and help us continue pushing out a Christian worldview.
Welcome back to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for staying with me until now. I see a lot of comments. I will address every single one of them in a minute. I have 12 minutes to wrap up the show. So let me conclude and then we get to your comments. Keep them coming. So as of right now, this woman, a proud Iranian American, Ainazani Cyrus, is going to look straight at this camera as straight as my eyes can. And I will say this, ladies and gentlemen, the DOJ of whatever administration has proven to have zero care for you, for your children, for your money, for your life, for your existence. Stop your obsession with parties. Stop giving in to picking between the lesser evil. Stop constantly excusing the lack of action and reaction from any administration whatsoever. We are officially running out of time. When I went on Brannon House Live, originally about 2 months ago, to talk about my long written Substack, digging into Epic City, I recall he asked at the very end of that segment, he said, Annie, what do you think is going to happen? I said, nothing. They build it. He's like, nothing? I said, nothing. Is it too early for me to say, I was right? I was right. I wasn't right because I'm some prophet. I wasn't right because I got some magic ball over there that tells me or I see through it. No, I was right because I woke up to the reality and the hard truth that this country is being handed over to all its enemies. From the child rapists and traffickers to the elites to the Islamists, all of them. The more you do wrong, the more you are rewarded in United States of America today, regardless of administration, regardless of who's in power, regardless of how many cool names are dropped and nominated and confirmed. Wake up. We're running out of time. We are running out of time, and that's okay. I don't know about the average age of my audience, but I'm 41. I'm good. You know who's not good? I was born after the Islamic Revolution of 1979 in Iran. I was born after that. How long after that? Well, about 5 years after that. And you know who paid the price of that Islamic Revolution? Yours truly. You've heard my story. You've seen my past. So, think about all the kids, those who were born today, all the way to those who are what? 15 to 20. One day, and I know how that feels. I know how it feels to sit in a corner in your absolute pitch black mind and think, why couldn't they make any compromise or sacrifice to stop this from happening to me? We are going to have a good generation who are going to think that. And if they verbalize it and ask you, I pray to God you have a good answer for it. Because being just, looking the other way, because it hasn't knocked at your door yet, I don't know. If you're comfortable with it, hey, this is America. You do you, boo. But when the final judgment comes, yeah, we have our guidelines. We do. So, Epic City shall be built. Anybody watching from the other side of the aisle? Hey, you can become a partner. The minimum investment is only $30,000. You got $30,000 money. Go and invest in the future Sharia city to be known as the first Sharia city in America. Okay, back to comments. On Rumble, we have, that's interesting. Lieto on Rumble says, as soon as I apparently said Planned Parenthood on YouTube, it started bugging and buffering, and they had to move from YouTube to Rumble. What can I say? The attacks from that city will be uncontrollable. Absolutely. But before we face the attacks from that city, you know what will be uncontrollable? The number of jihadists that are going to train in that city. That's going to be uncontrollable. The financial damages they're going to cost U.S. is going to be uncontrollable. You have a Islamic corner local market that is paying less taxes than mine. Not that I have a local market, I have an Etsy market if that counts. But they're paying less taxes than mine because they got to pay their Sharia tax first. And did you know in the United States of America, you got to pay more Sharia tax? I mean, you got to pay Sharia tax. Therefore, you're paying less taxes on your income because that Sharia tax is deducted from your income. Concept to think about. Or maybe a concept for me to write about or talk about. Either way. Grisby on Substack says, where's the darn list? Gone. Don't hold your breath for a list to ever come out. As I said, let's pray that Maxwell gets a chance. Or have it somewhere that she has told someone that if anything happens to her, to leak it. But that's the thing, even if it's leaked, who cares? Again, back to my Substack from today. I mentioned that there are leaked names, but they weren't even investigated. They weren't. They just said, no, I wasn't, and that's it. Including Alan. There were no, that's the thing, again, between Epstein that we talked about, Maxwell, and Epic City today. I don't know if anybody's still going to sit here and say, let's give DOJ more time. Because I have had people tell me, you're jumping the gun too fast. You got to give them a minute. Why? How many more minutes? People, we're done. There aren't more minutes left. As someone who watches football, the real football, you guys call it soccer. When minute 90 hits, it's done. Game over. It's done. It's done. You can kill your first half, save your energy to play better on the second half of 45 minutes. But when that 90 minute is over, it's over. You're approaching minute 90. So if you want to continue giving DOJ or Trump administration or Biden administration, Obama, I don't care, whomever's administration, more minutes to catch up and do better, I can't stop you because I'm not in your head. Well, I won't. I'm done giving anybody a second. If the proper actions are not taken, I'm going to be here yelling. Or maybe not always yelling. Okay. Few minutes left. Let me get to comments here. Lady Chuckle says they are pushing back online. We gotta hope we hold the midterms. Lady Chuckle, I'm guessing you're hoping for us to hold the midterms as of what? Keep those who are in? Why? I'm sorry. Why? What have they done that was so wonderful that you're hoping we're gonna keep them? If you ask me, if I had the ability to raise the money needed for a campaign, I would personally run. That's the thing. We need us to start running. Done with politicians. Their career needs to be over. So no, I don't really have a preference for midterm. No matter which side wins, clearly the difference. Okay, let me be honest. There's a difference. There's a difference. If the left flips right seats, I'm not going to even call parties in left and right. Let's go there. If the left flips any more seats, we're going to lean more towards socialist communist. If the right stays where it's at, we're just going to keep going towards green and become more Islamist. So I guess we're going to pick our poisons. Do we prefer Islamist country or communist country? That's the only difference as of today. I just told you, Epic City is facing no more investigation. Nothing. I will, after my tour, not just this one, I have 3 more events coming up, trips, but I'm going to do a show. It may even be outside of my normal show. I don't know. But I will show you the map. I mean, literal map, connecting dots of how much in last 7 months Trump administration has enabled and funded terrorism of Islam. Hold midterms for what? We can give the key to the White House to more jihadists? As I said, no matter how much I tried, we are at a point where we gotta pick a side. Do we want the red or the green? There is nothing left of it. The left is still feeding the socialists, communists, and the right now officially is funding the green side. We go and stop the death of Khamenei. And everybody's like, woo! Peace Prize! Since when we celebrate such a huge loss? Oh, wait, you're right. Since Republicans are in the office. Because dare do we say that even though Obama started the billions of dollars of funding of Islamic jihad, now Republican administration is enabling them even more. We walk around, shake their hands, lift all sanctions, and even at this point remove their terrorist groups' names from our terrorist list. Again, I'm okay. Trust me, last 2 months I've heard it all. But I did not start sacrificing everything in my life, including being pretty isolated due to 12 bounties on my head. So one day I could sit here quietly and not report on what Trump administration is doing when it comes to Islamization. That is not what I signed up for. I will never stop calling out whomever is enabling the green side of red-green axis. That has always been my mission. And I said from day one, live up to freedom is because in order to be free as a human, you need to be freed from Sharia. There is no mixing and matching. There is no cherry picking. There is no Trump knows what he's doing and he is playing 24D chess. There's one Islam, and no matter who's playing with it, they're not on my side. As a human, as an ex-Muslim, as a former child bride, as a Christian, nor as an American. None of those sides can fit with Sharia. None of them. Okay. I love all of your comments. I know I had a lot more to go through. I didn't get to it. But I do need to wrap up the show right here within the next few seconds. LUTFstudio.com, LUTFstudio.com, promo code MISSION before Friday morning. Grab what you have in your cart. We will resume the Etsy store Monday morning. It will be on vacation mode from Friday morning until Monday morning. I will see you tomorrow with Miriam Shaw. For the rest of the week, I will be traveling and doing speaking engagements. Stay safe and stay vigilant. Keep your eyes open and stop loving on parties. Start following Christ. See you tomorrow.